Hello and welcome once more to Sydney Harbour for the first day's racing in the Australian 18-foot skiff Australian titles. 2 races today on Friday the 27th of January, 2 races tomorrow, and it will conclude on Sunday with 2 heats. So 6 races in all. If we get the 5 heats in, we'll have a drop, but it's going to be tight and furious racing. It's short course racing, and it'll enable us to get 2 races in today. And the conditions on the harbour, well, a little bit difficult today. The sky trying to clear. We've had a southerly went through overnight, and there's the committee boat, and we're just moored between, or they're not even moored, they're between Nielsen Park on the eastern side and Clifton Gardens on the western side of the harbour. So we'll say good afternoon to everyone. Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland. I'm Peter Shipway. So Andrew, quick overview of the weather and what you're expecting today.
Well, Pete, as you noted, it's a bit tricky, volatile, pretty hot water, a high and a weak trough. The trough that went through overnight now on the north coast, a high to the south of us. Water temperature in territory a little bit unseen, up to 27 degrees offshore of Sydney at the present time. For you people that dream in Fahrenheit, that's high 70s, up near 80 in fact. The water in the harbour here, read from our temperature meter here on the catamaran, 23. So the models had it all turning southeast, but what we see is almost 170 compass wind, and the rotation probably being held up by fairly static rain out on the hot water offshore. So some quite unusual thermal dynamics today.
Okay, well that's the weather, and it is going to be tricky. A day probably where tactics will be just to play a bigger part as boat speed, and the committee boat is now anchored. So Jimmy Bury, good afternoon to you. Just a quick overview of the courses, please.
G'day, Shipper. Yeah, the course today 6/2, so 2 lap windward leeward. Just as you mentioned, we're just sort of near Steel Point, and they'll be working their way up into Rose Bay and running back. But yeah, short courses, so it's going to be interesting racing.
Well, the good news is we've got 2 boats in from Queensland for this Australian title. Bigfoot and SeaTech will be racing with the Sydney fleet, and a couple of boats won't be racing. Fisher Paykel's not racing. Jordan Gertis is out with an injured back, and there was a replacement crew that was unavailable. Noakes is still not out. Sean Langman, Ed Powis and Reese Mara, they're still to make an appearance, and I don't think Noakes Youth will be out today. But otherwise, all the stars are out, and today's 2 heats are sponsored by Andu, who must be one of the favourites, if not the favourite for the title. They'll be defending the title they won last year with Sevi Jarvan steering, but John Winning Jr. is back on the helm, and they would be in pretty strong favouritism, I think, but they should have a bit of competition. And one of the boats I think we're interested to see, Andrew, would be Finport Finance. Keegan York, Angus Williams and Phil Marshall. They have only had 1 appearance. That was 2 weeks ago, and they were pretty sharp. They'd have to be a boat to watch out for, you'd think.
All new setup, 3 pretty experienced and match-fit troops, so they won't be suffering any rust. And yeah, I would think they'll be on the podium or thereabouts, and we're looking forward to seeing it. New rig set up from Nick Daly with a bit of help from Michael Carter, so some high modulus carbon laminates made by Incidents in France, and redesigned stiffer batten set up, I'm told, by Nick Daly, the Dark Horse. And we're looking forward to that because it was noticeable that when Noakes, Sean Langman's boat, came with their Dark Horse setup, the battens were on the soft side, and so they've improved on that. And I think another boat with new sails on today is indeed Lazarus, and they've gone upsize, Pete. So they, under the rules, you can adjust the size to your crew weight or to your inclination, and they've gone big.
Okay, we're just looking at the fleet coming out from Double Bay, and we're right at the starting area. The breeze about 150 degrees, maybe even a bit further right than that.
Yeah, maybe 160, Pete, might be the average, yeah. So plenty of movement.
And I think the way the course is, if it stays the same, I doubt whether you'll only go up to the left of, or the east of Shark Island. I don't think anyone, would they risk going to the right-hand side, Andrew? I doubt, would you, think of this breeze?
It's
Because if it's going to go anyway, it's going to go back to the left, you'd think.
yeah, eventually it might. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But Pete, here's the other problem. I think there's a fair bit less pressure on the right edge underpoint Piper in particular.
Yes.
It's not your traditional sou'easter here, and the water temperature does do funny things to it.
Okay, well, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click the settings and click the HD and turn off the closed captions. So that's a warning, that's what you've got to do. And we'd say hello to all our loyal followers wherever you're watching throughout Australia, New Zealand, around the world. We say welcome to you, and we've got 3 days of exciting racing coming up. And we've seen probably the freshest breeze we've seen since we've been out here at the moment. What do we got here, Andrew? 11 knots, perhaps? 12, maybe?
Maybe a little more in the puff. So
Yes.
I think the range today doesn't look now as if we're going to see anything really soft now. I think it might be 8 to 14 will cover it. Got some fish leaping around here too, Pete, confusing us.
Yeah, we better get a line out.
Yeah.
Might have dinner. And the sky is clearing. It's been funny sort of weather this morning, very humid.
Yeah.
Water
And-
temperatures, Andrew said, quite warm.
Yeah, and so for the viewers, in a general sense, a bit like sailing in the tropics, if the sun does, if the overcast and the cumulus all clears off, the wind will fade. And so as the surface water temperature heats up a bit, boundary layer gets deeper and effectively less pressure.
Okay, well, that's looking back to Bradley's Head and the city of Sydney, but we're off Nielsen Park, for those that know the harbour. And Steel Point, the starting line has just been laid. It's a fairly long line. The leeward end's right near the Nielsen Park blinker.
Well, it's a classic, isn't it, Pete? Short runway on starboard tack into the headland at Nielsen Park. And Jimmy, we've got a bit of ebb tide, yeah?
Yeah, just it's only a small tide, only 1.2 metres of tide going out, so it's not
Yeah, it
won't play too much into it, I don't think, today.
Won't be huge, would it?
And we'll just talk about our two friends from Brisbane, the Bigfoot. Dave Hayter's the skipper, with Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Maher in the crew, and C-Tech Josh Sloman, George Morton and Angus Barker. And I think have been coached by Rob Brown, the former JJ and Australian champion in 18-foot skiffs.
Serve Robert Brown to you, Peter.
So a good mentor, no doubt, for these young crew, and it'll be a good hit out to see how these boys perform leading into the Giltons, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. And as we speak, there's the Bigfoot, Dave Hayter, Ben Roxburgh and Elliot Maher, and a very delighted sponsor, Mark Sear, who's the Bigfoot sponsor, and Deck Hardware. And you can see that prominently displayed on the mainsail. And Mark's in the park, and he was looking forward to these boys having his name on the sail and see how they go. Just to windward of them is Smeg, who won the last race that we held for the 18s. There wasn't a race last week. It was called off because lack of wind and plenty of rain, and I think that was a wise decision. The breeze never materialised. There's the
committee's
boat.
agreed with us. The side of the course axis will be 160. Well spotted,
Okay.
Jimmy.
160, well, that's what we thought, and so we know what we're talking about, Andrew. Is that what you're saying?
Not at all.
Okay.
I've never said that, ever.
Well,
ever.
I wouldn't say that about you, I'd say that about Jimmy, though.
That's
Yeah.
right. Fair enough. Fair enough. But the sky just clearing a bit. Still raining offshore by the look of it.
Yeah.
And that rain is associated with the nearest bits of the hottest water in all reality.
Some atmospherics out at sea last night. Boy, there was some lightning and
Yep.
carry on and thunder. And just
Alrighty.
about to come on screen now is the favourite, you'd have to say, John Winning Jr., Sam Newton and Sevi Jarvin in the Andu, just pulling behind the committee boat, having a look at the line.
The mighty Andu. So, Pete, be interesting to see if they can be as creative start, line and first beat-wise as they were on the Gilton last year, which was pretty impressive for anybody that was able to have a look at that.
Well, they mainly just held back a bit, got to the committee boat and tacked off, didn't they, really?
And let it rip.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But today, big premium on getting the first 200 metres of the race right. Big premium.
Yeah. And here's Lazarus with his new inventory, Marcus Ashley Jones, Sean Connor and Geronimo Harrison. Sales by Nick Daly.
The Dark Horse, look at it go. New logo on the mainsail down at the bottom at the tack corner. Probably not RSS compliant, but there we go.
I was just about to make comment about a big powerboat that was powering down the harbour, but I better leave that alone when I see what's written on the side of it.
Yeah, I'd leave that one alone, Pete.
It's got POLICE, I think it means police. So anyway,
Police,
g'day, g'day boys, welcome, well done.
Police.
So, well,
Constable Plod is seeking information about a P shipway.
well, the breeze nice here, Andrew, at the starting area.
Well,
It's
medium upper range
12,
big sail.
13, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be throwing a bit at it, and the backs will be bending.
So,
There's the Burrowang, Simon Nern, skipper, and Rollo's on board, Grant Rollison and Brandon Bayek. Some colourful characters there.
and we should mention, if we can get the Ragged Famish up on screen, the rather largish frame, solid frame of Lewis Brake on the main sheet today, subbing in for the illustrious
Josh McKnight.
Josh McKnight. So Louis, fair bit of body mass and plenty of horsepower.
Well, if you just joined us, welcome to Sydney Harbour for the first two heats of the Australian 18-foot skiff title. We're a few minutes away, I'd say, from getting the race underway. The course has not been laid. The starting line's in, and the gate is just about to be put in. And I don't think the weather mark is laid, or is it, Jimmy? Can you see it wind up into Rose Bay? That's where the fleet will be going.
Yeah, no, I can't. I've been looking up there. There's a couple of marks up there. I don't have their hours. So.
Okay, as we pan around, that's where they'll be going from.
Oh yeah. No, I've just found it's just up past the Shark Island YA mark.
Okay, a little to the right. Okay, so if we just pan it right a little, we could see a big motor cruiser just come into view. 1, 2, 3. There he is, just to the right of that, Jimmy. I think you're saying, is that
Yep,
somewhere up there?
just behind him almost.
Okay, right.
Yep.
So that's the. You'd have to say you can only go one way with regards to Shark Island, but who knows? So we're still a few minutes away from the start of the first race.
Pete, just a little bit of cold air just came over the top of the hills, and that's why it's come up range. But looking up now, the breeze it's not turned right. You can see the guys on port are quite well up, so it's kind of in line with the course axis. So the committee's had a good stab at that, and it'll be a pretty well contested first beat, and very critical how you get off the line and onto port somehow, with only a runway of 400 metres, 300 metres probably to the interfered with wind coming over the hillside at Nielsen Park.
Not far off the 5.
Not far off the 5-minute signal, indeed.
So Andrew, they say never ask a question if you don't know the answer yourself, but I'll ask you a question. Is this the first time the Australian title's ever been sailed over these short courses?
I believe so.
Yeah, I would think that'll be the case as we see the flags arise. 4 minutes 50. Anyone late? I think there's a couple of spinnakers that are they're going to not make it. There's a few boats down off Clark Island. They'll be struggling to get here. You'd think they got 4 minutes 30. They'd be hoping for a general recall, but anyway,
well,
we're on time.
Not enough boats for a general recall.
No.
Even your mate Woody's a bit late. He's 2 minutes sail away.
4.5 to go at the first heat of the Australians. And we're a lot of boats upwind, so a lot of boats are not going to be too sharp at this starting line. 4 minutes 10 to go. And we'll be away for the first heat of this year's Australian Championship. Today's sponsor is Andu, with a hooter game for 4 minutes.
Well, some of these guys are going to be late.
Yep.
Anybody coming at full noise with a chute will make it that we can see.
Sure. Well, some of those boats are Shore and Partners.
There's a white
the kitchen
spinnaker.
maker is the white spinnaker, and the black spinnaker is Finport.
Yep,
So,
Finport's going to be late.
That's a shame. Anyway,
Well,
they know what time the start is.
It's been published for a long...
Yeah.
What time's the race start? It's an 18-footer race. Here's a clue.
That's right.
These days 2:45.
Kurt Mitchell on the Birkenhead point. They were a winner yesterday at a race on the harbour for Australia Day.
And Pete, we forgot to mention in the bow today, Marine Outlet with Cam Gundy and Johnny Walton, Marcus Sampson, a 29er sailor, still in high school. So welcome, Marcus, to the big show tent, mate.
Yeah, I think he's Dave Sampson's son.
Yeah.
Dave is
Hightower.
commonly known as Hightower.
One of
So, great introduction for young Marcus as we
Yep.
look at the Birkenhead. Kirk, Andrew Stevenson and Daniel Barnett, one of the most famous surnames in 18-foot skiff racing. And 2 minutes 50.
just inside 3.
See, there's a few. There's going to be about Red Spinnaker. That's Shaw and Partners. He should just make it. Yes, he'll make it. Yandu will make it. Who's this here? We've got Smeg. There'll be 2, I think, that'll not make it. Jimmy, can you pick them up coming out? Finport's one, is it?
Finport's one, Royal Oak,
Is there any more down there?
and there's one right up in Double Bay,
With a
which
red
I
sheet.
believe is Balmain Slake.
Oh dear. Okay.
Very disappointing for Finport, whatever the problem was.
Yep. There's. So Andrew, quick look at the line. What are we thinking?
Oh, I think you got a bias starting at the boat, Pete. I think a bit of a trap down on the leeward edge. If you can't tack, they just
They're
put
postponed.
AP up.
Okay, I think gets a few blokes off the hook. The red and white pennant flying.
Well, I know there is a shipping movement also due this afternoon, so we've got to keep that in mind to get the 2 races squared away where we are.
Yeah, we're clear of the Western Channel, aren't we? So
Clear of the channel.
yeah. Doubt whether they'll be coming up the Eastern Channel, but anyway, that's allowed a few boats to make the start that wouldn't have made it if we'd started on time and without a general recall. There's Marine Outlet, former Ilve, Cam Gundy, Johnny Walton and Marcus Sampson we're just talking about. They've had a couple of good races this year already, Andrew, in the lighter air.
Yeah, particularly when it's been a little bit downrange.
Yes,
They've been very good. But he's got the little rig in, which I don't think's the right answer for today.
Who's that? Sorry, the
Shaw and Partners.
Shaw and Partners. Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty light, which is one reason why they've gone that path, but just too much turbulence in the boundary layer today, I think.
Yeah, there's the other Queenslander, Josh Sloman, George Morton and Angus Barker in C-Tech.
Yeah.
I think they were down last year for the
Yeah,
title.
and they've been working hard. I hear the reports.
Oh, that's
so
good.
let's see. I'm looking forward to the improving standard in Queensland.
There's the shot of Vaucluse in the background. Watson's Bay to the left.
So we're seeing signs, Peter, breeze softening
It
on
is soft
average
here,
here.
isn't it?
On
Yeah.
average, just softening.
Wouldn't be
the,
10 knots here.
The bit of cold air is almost gone. Oh well.
We're still under postponement.
And pretty disappointing, I think, for there to be an AP, but
Okay, AP down.
back in sequence.
And will those stragglers make it? The one with a red spinnaker way back down.
Yeah, that's Balmain
Balmain
Slake.
Slake.
the
He's
orange.
gonna-
Perhaps orange, Peter.
Orange perhaps?
Yeah.
Different colour burnt.
Different colour red. Yeah. He's not making it, but Finport's got here, so.
It's a burnt red. It's an orange.
ASC Rescue Orange, I would have said, but what would I know?
Anyway, well, they're all here except our mates on the Balmain
Yeah, and
Slate.
they're about 5 minutes away, so they'll nearly get here.
He needs to jive and get going towards the mark, doesn't he? Where is he? He's hidden down there. Anyway, that's unfortunately his issue. There's the Rag and Famish, Harry Price. Harry's been racing in the Australian moth titles, I think, down at Botany
St
Bay,
George,
isn't it?
yeah, St George.
So the final race today, I think.
I believe it's today.
Yeah.
Keegan's campaign lasted a whole 40 seconds in the moths. And,
Long time for Keegan, 40 seconds. As he came to grief.
see if he tries the same stunt here.
What happened? The red mist got him, Jimmy, did it?
I think a bit of missed. He tried a port hander on one of the hottest start line fleets going around, and he lasted about 40 seconds.
A port hander and a falling moth. defies belief
Jeez.
almost.
Yeah.
Oh well.
There's the kitchen maker, Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watts and Findor Rodowitz.
So, folks, if you just joined us, just had an AP, but we've just coming towards 4 minutes, 4:20. Heat 1, Australian 18-footer title.
Okay, and if you're feel free to follow the Sale Media on social media platforms to stay up to date and what else we've got in store for you. But keep repeating, 2 races today, 2 tomorrow and 2 on Sunday, and forecast tomorrow, looking for a good nor'easter, but who knows if that will transpire into a good day's racing. We hope so. But anyway, we're concentrating on today and a lightish south-southeaster.
But nice, Pete, nice mid-range for the rig.
Well, it's what is good today, being a Friday and not
Yeah.
a public holiday. The harbour is very clear, and they've got a good runway all the way up the beat, unless someone decides he's going to make a bit of a mess of it. But at the moment, there's hardly any traffic on the course at all. And there's the Burrawang Hotel.
One of our favourite entertainers, Peter,
Well,
the Burrawang.
there's Yandu, who's had a very good season this year with Fang and Josh, and they were vying for the lead 2 weeks ago when the old fella got tangled up in the main sheet and they capsized. But he's been there or thereabouts very much this season. Bright blue hat showing out there to hide the grey rinse.
So
we've got
just coming to 240.
And how much wind we got, Andrew? Not much.
10,
A couple
10,
of little puffs coming down.
10.
There's one
And
right up wind.
Finport too far upwind to
Oh,
start.
Jesus, Keegan, what's he trying to do?
That's Marine
Oh,
Outlet.
sorry, Marine Outlet.
Marine Outlet.
Sorry, Marine Outlet.
Okay.
Sorry, Keeg.
Yeah, take all that back, Keegan. There's Yandu, Nielsen Park in the background. There's one powerboat powering up the course. I shouldn't have spoken about them.
No, you're like a magnet, aren't they, Shipway?
Yeah. So we're just coming up to 2 minutes. And where's that line, Andrew? It's,
No, it looks good. We've
Yeah.
almost directly in line.
I see it down there.
It looks a bit hair-raising to be anywhere near the leeward end to me.
It's certainly a big sail breeze at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I think there's any Shore and Partners, any other ones on second rigs?
I don't think so. It's hard to put second rig in, but they are light, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for them now. Jim Colley, Max Paul and Tom Quigley.
Max Paul back on my main sheet, so...
There they are. So, just under a minute and a half. And it's going to be a struggle for Marine Outlet to get downwind.
He'll be on port jibe, I think, Peter.
Yes, I think he's going to... He won't... Oh, no, I don't think he'll get there.
No, he's going to be 30 seconds late.
Balmain Slake, he won't get there either. He's about 2 minutes away, a minute and a half away.
Yeah.
So we'll concentrate on the fleet we've got. They're stacking up on the windward end. Yandu, the most lured boat at the moment. 1 minute to go for the first heat of the Australian titles for
What, and
this year.
Wondering if Marine Outlet even knows that we're back in signals.
they're pretty restrained, the fleet. No, I'm sure they've figured it out to him, but the
think
boats
you
will
put a
You
shoot
put the
up
spinning
there.
crab, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
rack up.
Anyway, 40 seconds. What do we got here? We've got
Got a,
Yandu way down to the leeward end by himself.
a fleet looking careful is what we've got, Pete.
Yes. 30 seconds. Tide pushing them back
Yeah,
down away from the line.
holding them up.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of current too. It's quite a high tide. And,
Well, it's enough to make a material difference,
and
that's for
there's
sure.
Yandu right down. He's got the harbour to himself at that end, that's for sure.
Oh, good-
the
good
rest of
luck.
the fleet are right up here.
Good luck to him.
If he can jag a port start, he'll be...
10.
Okay, we're going to be clean, I think. 7.
Yeah, no, nobody will get there now.
No.
Andrew going to lead. And
Okay, we're away. All
Finport from
clear. All
Finport
clear.
from the top end. Individual recall,
Individual,
which
who
no,
was-
it's for these guys. Course or extent, or in the triangle, as it's called. But his flag's down, good to go.
Bit of yelling. Oh, Marine Outlet and Birkenhead. Almost came to grief there.
Yeah.
Now, will Yandu get across? He's looking
That
close.
will be a no, Peter.
Let's have a look. He's not far off it. No, he's going to take some sterns now. Just put the bow down now.
Come around the back of Rag and Famish.
Lazarus and Rag and Famish well positioned up to win with Shaw and Partners, struggling with that little rig, and then Finport. And Yandu would be about fifth. And a bit of breeze coming around Steel Point is nice breeze too.
Nice
Probably
breeze.
close to 10 knots, Andrew, you think?
Bit more.
okay.
Bit more cold air.
Okay, Balmain Slake has finally started. And the Royal Oak has got some problems. They have not started. They're just drifting away from the starting line, the Royal Oak, if you're wondering where they are. But meanwhile, the fleet continues on. Majority going in towards Nielsen Park, led by the 18-footer bar and restaurant. And Andu.
Andu, Lazarus and Finport are the top three at this point, I would say, Pete, aren't they?
Yeah. They'll get some good adverse current, though, around Steel Point.
Oh, yeah, Andu's far enough left, they'll be out of it, I would think.
Yeah.
Finport. Lazarus has footed out pretty nicely, but can't cross, I don't think. Looking from where we are, at least.
They'll start to bail out shortly. There they start to go. Andu's tacked. There's the Burrowang's going to get... Oh, he's going to tack under him. Smeg's a bit buried at the moment. Oh, there's the Rag and Famish. What's he doing? He's going... Oh, he's run back. No, what's he doing? He's on starboard tack. Is he doing a penalty? He's got a problem. I think the Rag and Famish has got a problem. They're on starboard, took a lot of sterns, and they're all standing up in the boat. But anyway, looks like Andu would lead off the point with Lazarus. Rag and Famish have got some issues. There's the Balmain Slate. They missed the start by about 30 seconds.
Wonder what's happened to the Rag.
What we're seeing in the middle of the track is Yandu is tacked on starboard, coming back, but it looks like Andu, Lazarus, and the Burrowang are the early leaders.
Yeah, the Lazarus appears to be leading, Pete, and got plenty of speed.
So the Rag and Famish's day's over. The crew are just standing up and
The boom bag's broken or something.
looking forlornly upwind. And I think their days, or this race is done and dusted.
So it's the gooseneck of the
gooseneck,
boom.
Yeah, the gooseneck's broken.
Okay, they've broken the gooseneck. So
That's not
that-
an easy fix for what's on board.
Yeah, we're not fixing that on here.
No. So her day's probably done and dusted.
Okay, so back to the big race. Lazarus and Andu leading.
Andu already stamping his authority.
Pressing.
They're about a third of the way up the first speed in a south-southeaster of 10 knots, 11 knots at best. But fully extended on the trapezes, so there's plenty of pressure for them under the big rigs.
Yeah.
C-Tech from Brisbane doing very well, just in front of Yandu. So that's one of the two Brisbane boats, Josh Schloman, George Morton and Angus Barker. And good day for a sailing here, Andrew. And nice breeze, relatively flat water.
Very nice smooth water, which, in Sydney Harbour now is a bit of a rarity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So this is these two boats are going to the left of the course, get towards the Nielsen Park, western side of Nielsen Park.
Everybody at this point seeking clear air and a lane, and these guys have done a good job of that.
So,
and there's plenty of wind all the way to the rocks and deep water all the way to the rocks as well here on this edge.
Tax.
So the Queenslanders chickened out early.
Yeah, a little bit wobbly.
But
and there's a
lunatic.
Well, that's it. It's been kind of lunatics. What's this bloke doing with a speedboat? Terrorising Yandu.
Right, so
anyway, Yandu going right to the shore here.
And they won't muck around here.
And that's a good move too. They get some good pressure down the shore.
They'll put the bowsprit onto the rock nearly.
Okay, let's have a look.
Pretty nice tack.
It's the most left-handed boat. Heading footer bar and restaurant coming back on starboard, tack short of Yandu.
Yeah. But
And the other Queensland boat, Bigfoot, he's right in the mix. He's about third or fourth.
yeah, he's flying along, Pete.
Oh, well, that's great to see. Great for the fleet that these boys are up there. Long way to go, but it's a good start.
Is that the new boat that went to Queensland? Brand new boat, I believe. The Bigfoot.
Is it? Yeah, I know one new boat went up there.
Yeah.
All may be. Anyway, so far so good. But it's Andu that leads right in on Shark Island on the eastern side. Just tacked and gets a good shift along that side normally for a bit of right-hander.
And a little dig into the bone and lift in and a lift out. Beautiful.
And the boat you see with the clear sails is a Lazarus, Marcus Ashley Jones.
And as you'd observe on screen, you can see we get to them. Very wide mainsail. So the mast height fixed under the rules, but you can make the sail wider as it suits your crew weight.
So there's Andu coming back on starboard. The breeze 10-11 knots, and they're about 2/3 the way up this beat into Rose Bay. We've got it's a two-lapper, so two spinnaker run, two beats and two spinnaker runs. After the first spinnaker run, they go round a gate. They can choose which mark they go round, left or right. And Andu leads from Lazarus. And then what have we got after that? We've got probably Smeg and Yandu.
Bigfoot, Finport,
The boat that's
Bar
done,
and Grill.
the boat that's done very well is Balmain Slate.
Yeah,
They
our
missed
main
it.
slate's come out of being last.
Yeah, they missed the start. They've sort of wriggled their way through to about 6th or 7th, perhaps. And where's that mark, Jimmy? Can we see the?
That's what I'm trying to.
No, it's been camouflaged.
Is that up near the ferry?
Should be here.
In front of the ferry? No. We've lost the mark, boys and girls. So stick with us. I'm sure we'll find it. So it's quite a long beat.
Here.
So here's a good race for these three boats. Smeg, Michael Coxon, Ricky Bridge and Tom Anderson, Lazarus, Marcus Ashley Jones, Sean Connor and Geronimo Harrison, and defending champion Andu with Herman Winnie on the wheel this year when Sevi steered it last year. Sevi's on the sheet with Sam Newton, and down to leeward of them is Yandu. And not far out of it is the Bigfoot from Queensland, just behind this group. That we've sighted the mark. It's still a fair way up here, isn't it, Jimmy?
No, it's a good, it's a good solid beat.
Yeah, they got there's a lot of.
And Pete, the breeze a little fresher and building from the left now, which probably indicates that rain cell out to sea's subsided a little or something.
Yeah, these boats are all high now on port, which will certainly
high
suit
left.
the Bigfoot.
And the Finport coming past us on the camera cat on the left side of the track here.
Let's have a look at Finport's setup when we can. But there's the Bigfoot. So it's Andu, Lazarus, Bigfoot. Being all helped by that little left-hand shift.
Yep.
And Finport, he's smoking along okay.
Well, he didn't look super high off the line, Pete, so they might have a bit more work to do yet.
The boat that's got hurt by this left-hand shift is Yandu. He's the leeward of this group.
Yeah, he'd be lucky to get in the top 10 out of there.
Well, he'll go to the point hoping for a right-hander down around the eastern end of Point Piper.
Good luck with that one, Peter.
Yeah. There's nice little puffs developing now. And they're still a fair way from this weather mark.
So, pretty good use of the available territory by the committee, Pete. Windward mark in nice breeze, but well up in the corner of the bay. And as we've noted, the wind on this part of Rose Bay flows over the the golf course, and so it's kind of come directly from Bondi Beach.
There looks more wind in the left than there is in the right.
Yep.
And that's helped Finport. He's come right into the picture. It's Finport there.
Finport might be third, Pete, I think.
Those boats coming back off the right are not in great shape, although Yandu's got a reasonable one off the point. He's bow down now, though. That's Finport in the foreground.
We will see if the big rig of the Lazarus makes some ground for them at the top of the beat, Pete.
Okay, we'll have a look at that. There's Yandu on starboard. the big foot on port.
And that's a big gap. I mean,
And it's quite light here
Yeah, yeah.
up at the weather mark.
yeah, as you'd expect. Still good pressure. So we're travelling with Finport there on screen, and as you viewers could even see there, it's a little lighter. But there's
Yeah.
still three
Gee,
streams
there's a lot of light
mostly.
spots up here. This is going to be a
Yep.
tricky old...
So guess who the leader is,
Yeah,
Pete?
our old friend Keegan. Angus Williams and Phil Marshall with Keegan York. They'll lead
Yep.
quite comfortably here. Well, the breeze went left. It favoured them.
Not the best tack you've ever seen,
Well,
but
there's not much wind, Andrew.
really,
That's right.
I noticed that.
Stick with me.
Stick with you. Crikey and gee whiz, I would
And
say.
there's the burrowing.
And now they've got a bit of a problem with the Yandu here.
And Andrew's tacked. Oh, it's a bit of fun and games.
No, but the Finport leader
Keegan
there.
leads quite comfortably now.
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
Bit of yelling.
And the Smeg on the overlay.
Smeg. Oh, here's a go at this weather mark.
Well, Lazarus is
Andrew
can
gets
tack.
in. Lazarus
Good
third.
tack from Andu.
And sneaking in is Simon Nern and Rollo.
Sevi got stuck in the middle.
And here goes the Burrowang.
Wow.
Young Henry's in fourth spot. Smeg fifth. Oh, some boats reaching into the mark now. The breeze has gone so far left. Where's Yandu? He got buried. Oh,
Wow.
there's boats going everywhere here. There's the Bigfoot going around the outside of Marine Outlet.
So he's
They got a bit lost there.
they
towards
got a
the end.
bit chicken winged up, Peter, you know?
And here comes the Balmain boys and the Balmain Slake. Henry Larkins, Miles Davey and Finn Toomey. Remember, they missed the start by plenty. The breeze way on the left, looking the way these boats are going downwind. And here's Yandu. He's well back now. Where's Yandu will be next. He's about 10th.
And 9th or 10th.
Yeah, and then SeaTech just behind him, the
So,
second Queenslander. Then the Kitchen Maker. Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watson, Finn Rodowitz.
Wow, big challenge for the boys that didn't get a good fist of that beat.
It was tricky towards the end, wasn't it?
Yep.
Light spots, hard left.
Yep.
The remainder of the fleet, well, there's some few stragglers. There's Noakes, Blue, 18-footer Restaurant, Shore and Partners, and the tail ender is Birkenhead. Remembering that retirement has been Rag and Famish. They broke their gooseneck, so their day is over just about a minute after the start, a couple of minutes after the start. The breeze hard left, most of the boats not laying down, but getting a fair way down on starboard jibe here. So we've got this run, another beat, and then a run to the finish. 2 laps, beat one with the Australian titles. So it would be unlikely that anybody will catch Finport now, Pete. Just about a one-legger back. It stays in the left, yeah. Yep. Well, all you've got to do really get around the mark and get on a wind on port, but they did change the course. They've got the option, haven't they? They've got the option. So it's a long starboard run and a short port run. That's Shark Island. The gate is sort of just to the east of the west, sorry, of Steel Point. Gate having the starting and finishing area. So it's Finport leads from Andu, the Burrowang and Smeg, Lazarus next, then Bigfoot, then Marine Outlet. Dragon Famish has had to go home.
Yeah, so their boom, Pete, on the Rag and Famish is actually tapered at the gooseneck, and I'm just wondering whether, yeah, that like most of these guys have a rectangle, you know, like
And a
boom
big-
section, and then on Rag and Famish it actually tapers into like a little square. So, you know,
Okay, well the leader off camera to the left is Jibe. This
And jibed in a good puff by the look of the jibe, Pete.
Yeah.
Got a bit wobbly, but got out of it all right. Andu pushing their luck in under the point to some degree, but here they go now. So Smeg nearest us in the foreground.
Top of young Henry's the Burrowang.
Pretty cool jibe on the Andu.
Yeah, Finport will lead by what? 20 seconds, 25 seconds perhaps. They've got a gate to go round. They can choose which boy, a left or right boy. What are you going for, Andrew? You'd have to think you'd go to the left-hand boy, would you? Oh, maybe not.
No, I think I'd come to this one.
Yeah.
I'd come to the one nearer to the heads.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Further upwind, here they go. They're setting up the jibe now.
Also out of the race is the Royal Oak, 4 points. He had an issue just after the start. Actually, I don't think he even started. So
No, I don't think
So
he
he comes
crossed the line.
Finport barrelling in as the race leader.
Yeah, on the face of a beauty too.
Yeah,
So
nice pump, probably
No.
11, 12 knots.
no drama as long as they can get the chute in the bag.
He'll do this.
So Jimmy, that was a pretty busy first beat, wasn't it? In that constricted area.
Very
Busy towards
constricted
the end,
area.
busy towards the last third. A lot of beat blokes got dumped badly. Okay, well, Andrew's got the time on Finport. He's around now.
Ding.
And Andu will be second.
Pretty good and clean. Good boys in the boat. She looks all neat.
And Specs made some good inroads to probably be third. Got in front of the Burrowang against Andu dropping their chute. Spec barrelling in with a wide spinnaker. Lazarus behind them. And off camera coming in on Port Jibe will be the Burrowang Hotel. Okay, Andu's around, not quite. Now, what's that, Andrew?
Yeah, so 25 exactly.
Okay, Smeg third.
Oh, and Smeg looking a bit untidy.
Oh, spinnaker's down.
And a bit much,
Maybe right.
bit much angle of heel, Pete.
Yes.
But he's got it done.
And here comes the Lazarus. He hasn't got it done yet. Now he has.
But he'll be right. So,
Right on him will be the Burrowang.
and everybody just going to sheet on and sail here.
It's quite light here at this mark again as the Bigfoot comes in with the purple chute, and then the Balmain Slake boys with the orange. That is orange, Andrew, not red. See that?
Yeah, see,
Orange.
rescue orange.
Yeah,
I'm
orange.
telling you.
So as Yandu goes behind him. He's going to the other mark, Yandu, I'd say.
Just to try and get some separation, Pete.
He's got to try something, doesn't he?
He's
Yes.
got to try something. You've got to try
So
to
he's
get
back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
ninth. Yep.
The Balmain Slake goes around, spinning up, half up, half down. It's
Bit of a
coming down now.
bit of a problem on the Bigfoot. They haven't been able to sheet on. They look like they've got some vang problem.
They've still got a crew in, but there's
Yep.
looking at Marine Outlet go round. Oh, and what's the breeze is light again here, isn't
So,
it?
breeze is light and gone back to the right, Pete. Who would have thought?
Well, it could favour Yandu if he's gone that way, but okay, C-Tech coming around just on the inside of the Kitchen Maker.
The other one that didn't start the race was Lazarus Youth.
Yes.
Just watching them just down, sort of off
Okay.
Taylor's Point there.
So they're all around with the exception of Shore and Partners, 18 footers, Noakes Blue and the Birkenhead. They're the last 4 tail-end Charlies, but it's Keegan York and Finport that leads the first heat of these Australian titles on a day of Sydney Harbour, a south-southeasterly breeze, southeast at times, back to the south-southeast, 10 knots, down to 8 knots at times, maybe 11 or 12 at best, so a few tricks to play out yet.
But Pete, you can see Finport just ignoring the fleet almost, to which some risk is attached. He certainly hasn't used up too many tacks. There he comes now, coming back to cross everybody, and that would consolidate, I think, his lead to the top. But he's let him go a bit, but it's...
There he is now, just tacked on the starboard.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't let Andu go, would you? Like,
No.
you know how much
You'd be
wheels
nervous
they've
letting
got.
him go,
Yeah.
but he'll still lead Finport, but it looks as though, we'll see Andu shortly, it looks as though he's closed the gap
No, Finport's a long way,
You think so?
long way to the right. Breeze is now slightly to the right of
Yeah, it's
neutral, I would have said.
Here we go.
That's still a big lead, Pete.
Yes, very nice lead. Smeg above Andu in third spot.
And Lazarus having a fight for fourth, fifth with Burrowing Young Henrys. Lazarus going to be fourth here.
A good breeze coming at Steel Point. We're just positioned off Steel Point. There's some good compression pressure here. There's Lazarus with his new setup.
We might see if we can get close enough. The first beat was so tightly forward that we couldn't get near anybody. The camera cab, we had to spend our day ducking and weaving.
I thought I needed one of those sea legs boats for going up the rocks here at Steel Point.
Yeah. Good bit of pressure here, Pete. Wow, and cold air again. Sun's gone away. Here we go. Travelling with Lazarus here, tacking right against the bricks in 12, 13, 14
And a
perhaps.
nice left-hander too, I
Yeah,
think.
and straight upwind of them, the leader, Finport. You see Marcus Ashley Jones.
Wow, Finport's in a ripper. Lazarus going to get the left-hander too.
That's looking pretty good for the wind strength, Pete, considering how big it is. He doesn't seem to have a great deal of height. That's the only problem I've got. Mid-leach looks a little soft. All right, Chipper, so now if we're lucky we'll get a look here at Finport with pretty much regulation standard-ish sails from the Dark Horse. Here we go, folks. Ooh. Too good, you boys. Lovely. Nico, 3 pictures for you, brother, from the helicopter.
Just look at Andu, who's gone right into Shark Island. He looks as though he's going to be, could be easily across Finport. Not easily across, but he could cross Finport.
I'd be surprised, but Finport's just getting into a good puff here now.
Yeah. There's Andu. You can see him in the middle of Shark Island. I think he could lead here, Andu. He'll lead clearly on that heading.
He will too, eh?
Just shows you, eh? Well, not clearly. It's
Not
Finport's
clearly.
just putting the bow up, but he'll be a lot closer than he was.
No, you're right. So Finport also struggling a bit for height. That'd be what I would make out of that.
So we're halfway up the beat into Rose Bay. This is the final beat of the first heat. Now after this, they'll run to the finish.
Finport's
It's gonna be close.
just got a narrow lead still.
Yes, he has. Will he risk it here?
And no, he's going to tack on his lee bow. But now we'll see the difference in height, I think. Pretty clear. Andu clearly more powered up.
Just both in a little bit of a header here. It's all about pressure, really, at the moment.
Well, it's about drag race, it's called, Peter.
Yeah,
This is
10, 11 knots. Andu could cart him right out here.
they'll be visiting the Port Leyland, I
Yeah.
predict. But Finport could tack and duck him.
Duck him, yeah.
He wanted.
Great shot of both boats there. The background, Smeg and Lazarus.
And they're on the Leyland now, by
So
my
they're getting
calculations,
well to the
Pete.
left here, yes.
Yeah.
They won't want to go left anymore. They'll be getting the jockey pole out to get into the mark here in a minute.
You know, that Subi will definitely come into play with it, won't it?
No. Interesting.
Yeah, who's going to
Here he goes.
breathe first? Deegan's gone. Finport's gone. Andu will
And-
go right on his
Andu will
snout.
go right on his snout. But just if we have a look at the difference in the mainsail depth at the 1/3 height, Jimmy, we'll learn something here.
So Kuga's going to have to fight hard to live there.
Yep.
He needs to go hard left. He's going to... Andu can just put the pedal down.
Looks pretty similar, eh? Both sails look pretty good. Finport, maybe the jib
Jib's
not
been
trimmed
up- no,
quite hard enough, you
A
know.
little bit open, isn't it? This
Yep,
jib
yep.
on the Finport. It's
All right,
pretty
folks.
neat. Okay, game on.
But it's-
Andu and Finport.
It's A grade and the race
Not
to
on
the
the ley line.
finish.
They're both under the ley line at the moment, just.
If-
Quite a bit, actually, now.
Well, it won't be hard for it to turn left 10 degrees over here, Peter, in the puff.
These two have jumped away from Smeg and Lazarus. Yandu's got himself probably into 5th or 6th.
Well, Lazarus isn't sheeted on either. Look at his head skip
Yeah,
twist.
it's way open in the head, isn't it?
Yep.
It's
When the
Yandu.
sails are right, it's hard to trim the jib hard enough when things are all good. And Yandu just grinding away at it. Oh,
Smeg's in 3rd spot. Yandu again going right into Point Pipe.
and the breeze turning left here, Peter.
Yandu just coming round the bow of Finport. He's really having to struggle here. A bit eager to hold his height, but he's doing okay.
He's clean.
Yeah,
And Yandu could barely tack from there, Pete. Legally.
he just can't afford a little header here, Finport, or he's history.
It's a little lull, and then there's a good path.
Yeah.
And a powerboat on the racetrack as well, a bit further
right
up.
in the high little, this powerboat.
Yeah. So the Finport boys be just trying to hold their lane.
They're getting some good pressure
Yeah,
now. It's just
yeah.
starting to build.
Building from the left a little.
Although the powerboat's now decided to move.
Oh, it's not the right answer, mate. We can have a look at the powerboat.
Oh, the nice left-hander with pressure.
Yeah. So, Pete, looking at those two boats, though, you wouldn't say there's any difference in speed or height,
No.
would you? Even if we could say Finport could trim the jib a bit
Keegan
harder.
just hits the brick wall of the powerboat.
Yep.
Yandu got going quicker.
Well, they are both on the ley line, really.
They've got pressure. The pressure lifted them. So it's still a good race. It's going to be a very good race to the finish. They'll round this mark and then they'll run to the finish down off Steel Point. Oh, there's some nice little puffs coming for them. Now,
Good left-hander coming to get him to the mark. So Finport might be back in the lead there,
yeah,
Pete.
it's very close. Again, I think Yandu will attack and get on the
Finport
starboard.
sprung sheets now. They're driving on the jib.
There's the mark. Yandu will lead.
No, Yandu will lead. So Finport was overstood. Just a
Yeah,
couple of boat
yeah.
lengths. Interesting, isn't it? It's got to
Okay.
go around the back of the Yandu. So
Attack and set here. That's what they got to do.
it's a hoisting contest.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, and Finport not deep enough out of the tack, so they've cost themselves a boat length, but they might just get to the master beam position here. Windward hoist. No. Beautiful set on the Yandu.
Yeah,
Just
perfect.
beautiful.
Perfect. As you'd
Problem
expect.
on the Finport.
Oh, it's caught on the top spreader. There's
Finish,
shoot.
no, and they got it off.
Dropped off then. So the minor placings will be Smeg will be 3rd, just ahead of Lazarus. And then Yandu's got himself in 5th. It shows a good speed from the Yandu boys after back at about 9th or 10th after the first lap. Then Balmain Slate. Then our Burrawang Hotel. Sea-Tech. Marine Outlet and Bigfoot. And then a fair gap to the rest of Smeg's just about to go round in 3rd. Wow, they're just off camera at the moment. Andrew got a real jump on Finport there. Smeg 3rd, Lazarus 4th, so it's going to be a good battle for 3rd.
But Yandu now having trouble threading their way through the fleet coming upwind to some degree.
Well, that's the gap. You see, wow, Finport was only a couple of boat lengths behind him at the mark.
Yeah, but his set
A little
wasn't
bit of-
very
A little
good.
bit of a tangle with the spinnaker when it went up.
Yeah.
So, surprise, surprise, the boys in Andrew in front once again. About halfway down the run to the finish. Some breeze to the left. Long starboard run.
On screen, Lazarus just having a little discussion with the windward hip of Smeg. Battle for 3rd and 4th there.
There's Yandu getting the bow down behind them. There's Finport. He's got a lot of work to do now to pull Andu back here. Can he get? I don't think he can now.
That's not going to happen, Pete.
No.
And to a degree, they'd be happy to be second. Even though they had enough lead to win the race.
Only their second race with this new boat.
Yeah.
But back to the letting Andrew off the hook up that work, it just, you're mad.
Well, to some degree they're mad. Not necessarily mad, but they don't yet know if their speed and height is in the ballpark, do they? They suspect it is, but nothing better than having the race favourite to gauge against to some degree.
Yeah, but like with Seb, the tactical, prowess of Seb, you don't let him go like any boat that he's on.
No, he's always going to give him a chance to win the race for sure. Absolutely. So, Andrew cruising in out of victory. One jibe. We haven't sunk him, have I, Peter?
No, I think they're pretty happy with this position they're in. They're coming into Steel Point, about 10 knots of breeze, a little bit more, and behind them, Finport's jibed early.
Just setting up to jibe.
There they
Back
go.
on. Oh. It wasn't a no-risk jibe, but it was a good one.
That's Finport right at the top of the screen going down the side of Shark Island. That's the gap. It's a pretty big gap.
30 seconds at least.
And Andrew just consolidating, going down to wait till Finport jibes, and then they'll get out to his line jibe and lay close to the finish. There's the race for second and third and fourth. Smeg jibing.
And Lazarus had fancies ability with that slightly bigger mainsail to just be a fraction faster, and that's why he's jibed inside him. He knows he can soak just a little more.
There's the split screen. There's Yandu with the red and blue oval. He's in fifth spot. Yandu's now jibe. Would he be easy laying to the finish? Yes, he would be.
Yes, he would be, or very close to.
Finport's still going out on port jibe. Wow, he won.
No, that's Lazarus Developments, Pete.
Sorry, boat was not racing. Thank you. Finport has jibe. He's barrelling in on starboard. And just lacking a bit of pressure at the moment. No, three strings again.
Just the MG run for the rig he's got up, basically, Pete. He is all the riding moment. Nice long finishing line.
It is. Wow, it is long.
Andrew from the top and Finport coming on a good one, but 20-something seconds in arrears.
Yeah. Well, it's all Andrew. Almost to the finish now. He's got about 15 seconds to go. Maybe a bit less. That's the distance. Should be a fair margin at the end of it is. Very close to the finish.
So about now.
Now, I'd
Yep.
say. Yep.
Yep.
Well done. Herman, Sam, and Sevi. Another polished effort by these boys that stamping their authority on this season, and no better way to start this championship than a first up win. But a very good performance also from Keegan York on the Finport. Only second race. Not there yet. He's probably got about 8, 7, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. There now. What's that, Andrew?
35.
35.
Yeah, they cruised a bit near the end there, but
Good battle now for third. I think probably Smeg looks the more likely here. Michael Coxon.
Smeg's in better pressure, but he's going to be lifted on the other jibe, Pete.
Yep.
So
He's a lot closer to the line, you'd think.
yeah, but he's got a. Oh, and Marcus is still on the other jibe,
He's
so
got
yeah.
one more jibe to go. There he goes.
Yeah, he's got this, no problem.
Nice jibe by those boys. And in the background, you'll see shortly the Lazarus coming in. There's Lazarus and Yandu. So Speg, Michael Coxon, pretty happy with that. Well, third.
Yep.
First out in the heat. First heat. So Speg third. Lazarus fourth.
Yeah, Lazarus still 15
There he is,
seconds.
yep.
15 seconds and slightly overstood on the committee boat.
Yandu.
Get those jibe angles right, boys. And a good recovery from the Yandu team
Yep.
to get fifth, and helped a little bit by the absence probably of Rag and Famish.
Still a few good little pups coming down here, Andrew.
Well, it's just can't make up its mind, mate. She's
cloud cover coming over the course. So Yandu across in fifth. Looks like the burrowing, I think. Jimmy, will she get sixth? I think she'll be next.
I dare say she will.
Or the blue spinnaker, or the turquoise spinnaker. Yeah. Simon Nern and Grant Rollison in the Burrowang, along with Brandon Mike. They'll be sixth, I think. Yes, they will be. And then coming into the picture is Marine Outlet. Seventh.
yeah, good effort from them. Seventh, I guess Peter's at.
Yeah, seventh. Yeah, then the Balmain.
8.
That's a good effort by the
Yeah.
Balmain, considering they pulled off the Le Mans start.
Yes.
But I mean, what were they doing? Well, first heat of a title and you're not on the line.
And then a good performance from Bigfoot. Oh, the two Queenslanders now.
Yep.
Bigfoot
Yeah.
leads
Then
C-Tech.
C-Tech.
Yeah.
And they look pretty even in speed and sort of general disposition, Pete.
C-Tech 10th. Oh. And then
Tight one,
Kitchen Maker and
Shaw and Partners.
Who got that, Jimmy? Kitchen Maker will give it to.
I'd give it to Kitchen Maker.
The Kitchen Maker. And then Shaw and Partners with a small rig in. That would have been hard work for those boys.
Yeah, I
And
can't.
they were Shaw and Partner 12th. The Bell. The 18-footer restaurant would be next. So it'd be 13th. There's the 18-footer restaurant. Pedro Vizzoni, Cam Walker and Paddy Bannon. They'll come across in 13th spot. If you're wondering where the Rag and Famish got to, well, they just after the start they broke their gooseneck or their boom, and doubtful whether they will race again. So they certainly didn't finish this race. And the next to finish will be Birkenhead, Kirk Mitchell.
No youth.
So that's the Birkenhead. Come across on 14th. And then the final finisher will be Noakes Blue. So no appearance today from Noakes. Sean Langman still not showing his cards as
Well,
yet.
Pete, we've got some news for you. If you look up towards the back of Clark Island, and sorry viewers, not on screen, but under the big tower,
Yeah.
you can see a spinnaker with a Noakes logo on it.
We're just trying to confirm whether it's the
The alleged.
the youth or
No, it's Noakes Youth. What had happened, I've got the story there. They couldn't sail the first race today because one of the crew was sitting for a university exam at the 18-footer club. So he's finished his exam and he's out to race in this second heat today.
Oh,
I
okay,
think that's
so
what
we've
it's
got, we've
about.
got Noakes Blue and Noakes Youth, indeed.
Yes, yeah.
He won it.
we got quite excited when we seen the white spinnaker with the Noakes logo
Yeah.
on it.
No, I think that's
Too
the
many
case.
Noakeses.
Yep.
Oh well. Noakes,
So,
he'd be proud.
We're all done and dusted, so
Yep.
just go back and recap. First heat of the Australian titles. The sponsor was Andu and the winner was Andu. Finport, Keegan York was second, Speg third, Lazarus fourth, Yandu fifth, the Burrowang Hotel sixth, Marine Outlet 7, Balmain Slate 8, Bigfoot from Queensland 9, SeaTech from Queensland 10, Picture Maker, Shore and Partners 18 for the restaurant, Birkenhead 14th, and Noakes Blue was 15. And the rest didn't finish or didn't start. A disappointment for Rag and Famish,
a
of
pretty
course.
big disappointment for the Rag and Famish boys. And a bit of work to do tonight involving carbon and epoxy, I think.
So we're just waiting for the second heat to get underway. All boats have finished. The breeze is pretty much the same, Andrew, and a few little puffs coming down the course. Nothing more than 11, 12 knots at best, probably more like 10 knots.
Yeah.
And are they changing the direction of the course? It's still got 160 on the back of the committee vessel.
Yeah, no, I think that's been a pretty well judged.
It was a pretty good beat,
axis.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
A few little shifts towards the end, which makes things interesting.
So, Pete, interesting. Boat's competitive now, and you know that's kind of in line with the favouritism, isn't it? We thought Andu, Finport, and then Rag and Famish, Smeg, Yandu, perhaps in that kind of order, and that's kind of how it worked out.
A couple of unknowns, of course. Finport only in his second race.
But not unknown in the sense of the
good sailors.
it's a unit.
Yeah, very good sailors.
They need to polish their crew work and trim up a bit to get to the standard of Andu on the execution side. Right.
Andrew,
But Jimmy, you're seeing them. You know the boys very well. They've come from the 16-footer nationals and Moth titles and things.
Yep.
So they're match fit, but they don't look like they've had enough practice in that boat, do they?
Well, not in that boat, not together.
Yeah.
So they didn't sail the 16-foot skiff together in the titles. So they're on separate ones. But
All different boats.
I think we're not far off signals here for the second race.
Fantastic.
Rather Noakes' boat should make it. He's just dropping his spinnaker on the eastern side of Bradley's head. But
And I can see a purple spinnaker with the rag written on it, so they've obviously found another boom for the rag.
Spare
that's
boom.
good news. Let's hope they get here.
Spare boom, I would say, at a guess.
Well, that's good, really good news.
Yeah, they're only 5 minutes away, Pete.
Yep, they'll shoot up. Yep.
They'll make it. Hammer down.
Lewis brake too strong on the main.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, literally, it was only a couple of minutes after the start as they were going in on starboard towards Nielsen.
Pete, I bet you this. They've sheeted on. They've gone just a bit more bang on. Bang. Oh, dear. They wouldn't have said oh, dear either, just quietly, but no. Oh, dear. But,
Okay, now the news is that the committee vessel is changing. It's
The
put
axis.
the course board in, and that looks as though they could be changing the direction of the first, or the windward mark. Yeah, they looks as though they've got the rubber out.
Going to go to 150, I would say.
And the rubber or the eraser, you can't say rubber, it could be
Misconstrued.
It could be taken the wrong way.
Misconstrued, Peter, misconstrued.
the eraser.
Yep.
So there'll be further delay, which will be good news for the Rag and Famish. So
No, here she comes, 150.
150, okay.
Have a closer
10
look.
degrees to the left.
Yeah.
159.
159. Jimmy's right. It doesn't go to the decimal point, mate.
Okay. Just all eyes on the Rag. Yes, she'll make it, I would think.
Yeah, no,
And we've got
there we go.
okay, 5 minutes. The Rag
Yeah, no, they'll make
will
it.
get it.
Yep.
And who else didn't make it then? It was the Royal Oak Four Pines. Are they back out, Jimmy? We've seen them. And Lazarus Youth.
Lazarus Youth were floating around earlier on.
Practising, as it were.
Practising.
Okay, well,
I
let's
haven't-
hope they're in. Haven't seen them.
The Royal Oak's right beside the camera
right
boat.
here, so she'll get a race in.
And yeah, Lazarus Developments is just upwind of the camera boat, Pete.
Okay,
so
good,
we're
yep.
all accounted for.
Yep, okay, and the Rag just dropping their chute. They're probably about a couple of minutes away, so they'll be tight, but should make it with 4 minutes 15 to go. The breeze
Nice quick reach in from there,
south
Pete.
southeast, and what do we got? 10 knots, 11 perhaps.
Yeah, 10 will be the median, Peter.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that.
yeah.
Here's some 18-footer friends here alongside us.
So that's the hooter for 4 minutes. And what do we got again? Have they moved the starting line, Andrew? Did they drop the pin back a bit or not? You don't think so?
No, absolutely as it was.
And
it was a pretty good line in the end.
There's more pressure rolling down here. Look at this across the course. Little generally up.
One more knot I'll
That's
give you,
enough.
Pete.
That's all you need.
I know. One more. Yeah. Good. Generally a little cooler overall, so I think it might be a bit more stable this race. Fully overcast to windward of us.
Yeah. So repeating, we're under starters' orders for the second heat of the Australian 18-foot skiff championship on Sydney Harbour. First heat, a clear wind to Andu from Finport, Finance and Smeg. And now we're waiting the second race to get underway. 2 minutes 54 to go on a course axis of 150 degrees and the weather mark right up in Rose Bay. So it's a good beat. 2 beats, 2 runs.
Yeah, if you hit the land, you've gone a bit too far, but not much.
Yeah.
So the rag into the start area, so all good with 3 minutes to go.
And rag is here.
Under, yep.
Lazarus.
So, Pete, that earlier start, they were remarkably reserved, a whole bow length of spare on the whole line.
Probably
Amazing.
the tide had a bit of influence there.
Just did enough, I would say.
It's quite a strong ebb, which will be pushing the fleet away from the line. And we've got just over 2 minutes to go.
Wow.
You'd expect rag to come out firing.
Yes.
Yeah, and
exactly.
they're setting up for the leeward end again. I know they're not. They just changed their mind or turning in circles.
There's that Yandu.
No, the rag. They were down the pin the first time. And
Yandu was right down the pin, but couldn't get away with a cross. He had to take a few turns.
Too many stones, Peter. Couldn't get it done.
Minute and a half to go, and again they look well behaved at this early stage. Heat 2 just about to get underway. Breeze 10, 11 knots, south-southeast. And the fleet all stacked up. The windward end, Yandu going back into join the pack.
Jesus.
It looks a bit left, this breeze. And Yandu's going to be the most lured boat here.
Again.
Yep. They've got just up to a minute to go. There we go.
Oh, looking a bit more congested this time,
There
Peter.
it is, yes. Yep. Again,
Wow, and lots of boats overlapped and close to each other, and there'll be some crunching carbon if things aren't careful.
There's the burrowing getting in there.
Yep.
Oh, the
Yep.
18 footers.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bit of nonsense going on here.
Yep.
The most windward boat at the moment is going to be Noakes Youth.
Still, they've got a good amount to sail before the gun goes. Lazarus trying to close off the top end of the
30
line.
seconds. They're going to be late again. I think they're going to be clear at this stage.
It's going to be okay.
Oh, Marcus Ashley Jones giving a bit of how's your father, the Shore and Partners.
And rightly so, but he's doing a good job.
Okay, 17 seconds. I think they're going to be okay.
Wow, just.
Oh, Noakes Youth in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah.
And Noakes Blue, the two Noakes blokes are locked up.
Mochi comes in hard from left of screen
Oh,
E.
there's the Rag and Famish. We've got 5. They're going to be clean. Clean start.
Beautiful.
Yep, we're away.
Lazarus leading out of the blocks.
Yep, good start.
Beautiful. Andu not too bad either, midline-ish. Rag and Famish in the high slow-mo right of the committee boat. And and Lazarus is just
Lazarus got a
boomer.
boomer there. He got a shot out of a gun. He was away. Here comes the Rag and Famish tacking early.
Oh.
Got to get out, bail out of there. C-Tech buried, Noakes Youth buried, Lazarus Youth buried.
Not a great tack from the Rag and Famish, I've got to say.
No, but anyway, he's into good pressure. He's got clear air.
Yep.
As he goes away on port.
But Lazarus has got all the choices in the world now, haven't they?
Yeah, he's commanding the fleet at the moment. And Lazarus looks strong. Andu's strong as well.
Powerboat spreading some dirty air on the fleet as well, upstream.
Okay, we're away with the majority on starboard in towards Nielsen Park. The second heat of the Australian titles. Oh, some good little white caps appearing, Andrew. They've got plenty of pressure at the moment.
Yeah, just a little bit of cooler air, and
Unfortunately, the two Queensland boats buried deep at this early stage of the second heat. Andrew has got really good height now. He's coming round the bow of Birkenhead. Lazarus still hanging in there. He will probably lead. Some of these boats are going to run out of pressure. There's Yandu to do it again, the kitchen maker. Yandu with the white sails, the red blue oval. They're going to run out of a bit of gas here. Go too far.
Well, they're all taking some risk here now. Anybody at this end, Smeg and so forth.
The kitchen maker suffering. Some nice pressure coming over the beach at Nelson Park, which could be good for Yandu.
Yeah, but it's pretty spotty, Pete.
Yeah. Smeg's going to get out into the pressure.
And on the right edge, Lazarus jumped out early on the lee bow of Andu. That's the 1-2, I would say.
Yandu's going to run Yandu. He's going to get some height here. There's going to be a couple of soft spots.
Just watch out for the slap in the face.
Yeah, he
Shippers.
He'll stub his toe in a minute.
He's stubbing his toe as we speak.
There it is, there's now, but there it is, there's the toe stub. Okay, he's through the soft spot. He's out into the genuine pressure now. So he's pretty strong, Yandu. Lazarus and Andu again having a bit of a battle. Kitchen maker probably went too far in towards Nielsen. And a couple of boats gone hard right, led by Rag and Famish and Shore and Partners. And Finport, is that Finport down? No,
Yep.
Finport's in the middle.
In the middle of the creek there,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's Marine Outlet down there, going hard to the right. Okay, we're settled down. Majority on port tack. All the fleet really on port tack.
Just watching here, Pete, the leeches of Andu, Finport and Lazarus lined up here from our position on the windward side. Smeg also in the mix. Wow, it's a yacht race.
Yep, Yandu's done okay.
Yeah.
The only damage will be she's on port and his
Now-
fleet come back at her.
Jimmy's making hand signals as if to say he thinks Rag and Famish is leading.
I'm thinking that.
There's
No,
good,
I think, well, yeah,
Yeah, he
long
won't
way
be-
away from us,
won't
but
be far off it. There's really good pressure right across the course here.
Yeah,
at Rosebud
no, nice,
now.
nice
Isn't it?
even wind, yeah.
Good,
Good.
relatively calm water, great sailing conditions.
Yeah.
Not any spectator traffic on the course at this stage, so it's a really good test here. And Yandu is throwing down the challenge at the moment. And who's coming across that? Finport that's tacked.
No, Finport's still on port in the middle. It's the
Okay.
Shore and Partners, Rag and
with a little
Famish,
rig. Yep.
and Marine Outlet is bow to bow with Yandu.
Well, sure. Those boats that went to the right have done okay. Oh,
Yeah.
bad tack on Rag and Famish.
Oh, not super bad, Pete, if it's a bit up range.
Yeah. Oh, Shore and Partners gone back for more.
Yep.
Well, have they? Oh.
So a rich vein on the
Yeah.
along the side of the island there.
Most pressure we've seen all day
On
here.
occasion, indeed. Finport probably leads, I think.
Well, he could well. Yep. This is another good race here. That's Finport.
Finport and
Furthest
Rag and
away with
Famish.
that vertical black on his
Yeah.
sail, just tacking now.
Yeah.
He's probably closest to the most right.
No.
Which Rag and Famish is across him.
No,
As
sorry,
his shore
folks.
partner.
Rag is leading, sorry,
Yeah.
viewers.
Remembering that
Indeed.
Rag and Famish retired from the first heat with a damaged gooseneck, went ashore and got it fixed, and they're out here now. It'll be a real good go at this. But it's Andu also looking very solid. Strong in the middle of the pack, and he's bounced out. He's in about third spot. Shore Partners, remember, he's on his small number 2 rig. Hurt him downwind especially, but enough breeze upwind for him. It's the Marine Outlet,
Okay.
which is Cam Gundy, Johnny Walton and Marcus Sampson. There's Andu tacking with Shore and Partners pretty much on his gas. And Yandu's in the mix as well. And they're probably about halfway up the beat.
Yeah.
Now, where did Finport come out of all that? Okay, he's about 4th or 5th. Lazarus about 6th or 7th. Smeg similarly position. So at the moment, it looks like Shore and Partners, Rag and Famish, Andu and Yandu are the top 4.
Yeah, I think that's accurate, Pete, but the breed's about to turn left again.
Yeah, with pressure, so there's some of these guys trying to hit the left.
So the same as the first beat of the first race, Pete,
Yes,
almost.
yeah. Those that went left towards the end of the beat did
Yeah.
very well.
Halfway up the beat, you have to get to the left, and that's fairly standard up in this wind direction in Rose Bay. We'll see. Quite a big gain.
But each time Andu has gone to the right,
Yep.
I think he's just obviously got good speed, Andu. He can
He's got
almost put the back where he likes.
Yeah,
He's
almost.
always going to pop up there somewhere
Yeah.
near the leaders.
Rag and Famish hanging in there pretty good though.
The Marine Outlet's doing well also.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so we're looking at the fleet. We're looking probably Rag and Famish, Andu.
And Andrew's going to cross Rag. Shore Partner's still
Shore
leading.
Partners, Marine Outlet, Andu.
Andrew might tack because they're close up to the ley line here. And he's going to stand on Rag and a
Famish,
duck.
take the dip. Okay, Shore Partners has bailed out.
So Andrew's going to overstand by the look of this. But that's not a bad thing necessarily.
No,
It's
I think it's
not
a
like
good
you're
thing.
racing a keelboat. You can just keep your lane clear and
Lovely
let it rip.
Good, steady pressure. And the mark should be a bit further to the left. There it is, yeah, we've got it. Andrew spotted that.
We're on the ley line, Peter.
As usual, perfect.
Perfect.
So there's the big leading group. It's all close. Shore Partners, Andu, Rag and Famish, Marine Outlet, Finport, Yandu, Lazarus.
So
Balmain, Slate.
Andrew on the wrong side of that puff a bit, Pete.
Andu.
Andrew, yeah.
Yeah, it's a heading. It's heading. Smeg's just behind him.
Where Rag and Famish tacked in the middle of the puff was the correct answer. So Rag and Famish and Finport.
Well, that Shore and Partners really smoking along with that little rig.
Yeah, what?
He'll hurt downwind.
Oh, you might be able to hang in there for a top 5. There's a bit of wind and they're quite light.
Boats are coming around the bow of Andu here, somewhat. Oh, take a couple of big headers going in there. Finport, he just stubbed his toe.
Wow. You can see now, Pete, that it's not quite as simple as we might have said.
No,
Easy on a camera cat. Easy.
it's going to be a good race. There's a lot of boats right in this.
Yeah.
You know, Smeg's not far out of it. The big foot.
Who's going to lead? Shore's going to lead. Rag's going to be second, I think.
Well, that Marine Outlet's done a good job going along the shore of Point
Yeah,
Five,
but he's now on the wrong side.
Well, he's got
I
to come
think.
out. Well, see what he comes out with.
Yeah, no, of course.
Just, the shore partner's bow down a bit. This
Yeah.
is Marine Outlet. If he gets a little right-hander, that's him in the distance there. Just tacking. Shore partner's down. The port tacker's down. So the breeze has gone
Yep.
right
Yeah.
here.
Well, it's softened as well, Pete, I think.
The Marine Outlet will lead at the moment from Lazarus and perhaps Shore or Yandu. Those that went hard left have lost out.
She's a bit of congestion here. Oh, and they're all overstood, so
Well, the Shore partners has tacked short
Yep.
of the others, so if he
oh,
gets
no,
that midfield,
they're all overstood.
they're all well over it, isn't it? Aren't they? It's quite light again. There's a couple of small good puffs
Yeah.
coming out of the Catalina restaurant area.
Anders going to be third, probably, or fourth.
Yeah, I think Shore and Partners will lead here.
Shore and Partners just going to scratch their way
he's-
into the lead. Rag and
He's
Famish.
struggling. Here goes Marine Outlet. Sprung gear, jib well sprung.
Yeah, come on, you boys. Sheet on. They're
Yeah, the
too
jib's flopping
too
around.
lazy on the trim there.
Yeah.
Now Anders in trouble now. They can't lay from there.
Yeah, they're getting all the gas of these boats going around.
And
Okay,
Smeg's going to tack on their breeze as
Okay.
well.
Jim Colley at the helm of Shore and Partners, first round. Tom Quigley and Max Paul, the crew, and there's the Marine Outlet.
Oh, and Andu having a
Cam
crack
Gundy,
at it.
Oh, his Smeg third. He got out of jail there, Coco.
Finport.
Then Finport,
And the
Keegan
Rag.
again, solid. Oh, Yandu's in more trouble than the early explorers there, Yandu.
Yep.
Oh.
No, he's in the infringement zone there.
Lazarus is around. Yandu's going round in front of his son. Yandu's all chicken winged up. Rag and Famish. Oh dear, dear, dear. Andrew, wow, he's still not out of jail here. He's in irons, on the mark, and the fleet are just going around him. There goes Babarawang is around. Yandu's still trying to back the jib. Okay, here comes Kirk Mitchell in the Birkenhead.
He's now in infringement land if he doesn't get the jibber
There
back.
goes the Queenslander, the Bigfoot, Balmain Slate. Okay, Yandu just got it getting going now. Oh, and Yandu's almost in the tide. Oh, wow, what happened there? They dropped the spinnaker, didn't they?
No, they put the wing in the water and...
Oh, Yandu. Okay, C-Tech's around, 18-footer bar and restaurant. Yandu's doing penalty turns.
And they're still not last.
No, they're still not. Bringing up, there's Noakes, the Royal Oak and the Kitchen Maker. So, Andrew, boy, they've got some work to do. This will test their speed. This will really test their speed.
It's only a 2-lapper.
That's right. Well, this will give them something to work at. Remember, they won the first heat quite convincingly. This is the second heat of the Australians. Shaw and Partners leads. And to win the mark the first time. 6 heats will comprise the championship. And you're allowed to drop one if we get 5 races completed. So I would think Andrew will be hoping we get 5 races completed because they're deep and buried at the moment. And Yandu, they didn't survive the near capsize. Here's a good gaggle of boats, the Balmain Slate. Rolling over the top of the Bigfoot from Brisbane. Just ahead of them is the Birkenhead Point. Below them is the Yandu, and ahead is the Burrawang Young Henrys. Three leaders. Shaw and Partners, Spang, Finport, Little Asmus. We have 4 leaders and a fair gap. Well, Speg's in the mix too. He's gone right down the Steel Point shore. So he's split right away from the leading group, Speg. Okay, so he looks like when he comes back. Meanwhile, we're on the gaggle of boats lying out for about 5th, 6th and 7th. That's the leading pack.
I thought Shaw and Partners would have been gobbled up with the little spinnaker.
It's been windy enough, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So that's Shaw and Partners in the red. Finport just jiving. But off screen and coming right into the picture is Speg. This is going to be a good battle. We're about 2/3 the way down the run.
Yeah, Smeg's still third, Pete,
Yes,
I
I think so. I think the outlet, or the marine outlet, will be ahead of him.
They're on the ley line, fully noised up.
So, leading group are Shaw and Partners, Speg, Marine Outlet, Lazarus, and Finport.
No, Smeg's in second.
Smeg will be second. He'll cross that bulb. Just got to get your jibe right to pick up this gate. The gate's in play. Holding pretty good pressure, Andrew, here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jimmy, Finport not too fast downwind by the look of that.
Well, I think that's their spinnaker from last year.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe that needs a bit of homework.
Okay, Speg just jiving. It's Shaw and Partners leads. Again, they look as though they're set up for the right-hand mark. Looking downwind. Yeah, Shaw and Partners barrelling in nicely.
Just enough wind for them to be competitive. Smeg will press them here, though.
Smeg just went a bit further, but he's really got some gas going. Coco.
Smeg on the noisy ley line, as we'd say. Finport probably going to go to the other mark by the look of their final approach on the other jibe.
Marine Outlet still third. Okay, there'll be a bit of pressure for the Smeg crew here.
Well, they're fairly good at it, though, Pete. I don't know if you noticed.
Oh, I have noticed over the years.
Yeah. You know, with
crew.
Ricky Bridge and Tommy Anderson in there,
Yeah, pretty solid, boys.
pretty solid.
Oh, good job. Nice job, Smeg. Well done.
Yep.
They're second, clearly. Marine Outlet will be third, going to the right-hand mark. The other two.
And probably the most wind we've seen, just coming down the track.
Yep. Oh, the Rag and Famish there with the purple spinnaker. They're going to have some on. Which mark are they going to? They're right in the middle.
Yeah, and Lazarus has burgled a bit there.
Yeah.
watching
Okay.
them.
So this will be a good test. Oh, the good puff. Look at this puff bringing the fleet down here.
Yep, it's a
You'll
beauty.
see
Isn't
them
it?
in a minute. There's Yandu.
A bit of right up range for this
And
rig set up here.
turquoise of the Burrowang, Simon Dern and Rollo. Hang on to a Rollo. Okay, this is going to be a good beat. This is anybody's race here. The big news is that Andu is right out of contention.
Yep.
He's back in about, deep in about 14th, 12th or 14th. So what can he do upwind to try and get into single figures? That's his first exercise as Yandu goes round.
Pretty nice rounding from the Yandu too,
Yeah,
Pete.
very good. Top crew there. Josh and Mesky and Fang Warren. Okay, so Barrowang is around. Birkenhead's gone to the other mark, as did Finport and Lazarus.
Oh, and Balmain
Balmain Slake, he's got a bit on the jibe.
putting some pressure on.
Oh, there he goes. He's okay.
It's not really the right answer, is it?
No, 2 extra knots and that was a swim.
Here's one of the Queenslanders. Oh, Noakes in trouble. And C-Tech's around, as is Bigfoot with the Spinnaker half up. He goes, Andu, got a bit on. Okay.
Pretty good though.
Yeah, very good. Very good, as you'd expect. 18-footer bar and restaurant next around. And then coming in, who we got? The Royal Oak. Kitchen Maker. And Noakes Blue, is it?
Yep, Noakes Blue.
And behind them, probably Lazarus Youth is there somewhere. Okay, the green Spinnaker belongs to the Royal Oak. Oh, the Kitchen Maker's going into all sorts of trouble. And the breeze, yeah, good. Nice and steady, probably 12 knots.
There was a little puff there that might have been 14, just
Yes.
when they were hauling in, and just back to regulation stuff now.
Now the Royal Oak goes round. Noakes Blue is around.
So
The Lazarus Youth bring up the rear in this second heat.
So for the viewers and not on screen, Lazarus and Finport have gone hard right at the start of this beat.
Yes, this is interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
So, we had Shore and Partners leading at the Lewis mark, closely followed by Smeg. They went to the right-hand mark, the others went to the left-hand mark, other leading group. The big play will be to see what Yandu can do and get himself up a few places. And disaster at the Windward mark the first time, got in irons, all sorts of trouble. And again, Andrew, good breeze coming around Steel Point. Oh, a few boats chicken-winged up there, C-Tech in irons.
In the Bermuda Triangle, mate, under the Nilo.
Yeah, go a boat lead too far and you stay there forever.
Yeah.
But really good pressure once you're out in Rose Bay.
So let's have a look at Cross coming up in the mid-distance there. Lazarus just behind Smeg.
Well, Shore and Partners still leads.
Yep.
Jim Colley, he's got the foot down today in this second race. He is absolutely smoking along now. This boat last year was
Tech 2.
Tech 2 for Jack McCartney that
Yep.
performed so creditably. Runner-up in the Gilman, so it's a pretty good boat. They've got a pretty good crew aboard here today.
So Finport's in second, Pete, looking up the track. They just crossed Smeg.
Okay, well, Keegan's putting a stamp down today.
Well, he sailed a nice big long in good breeze on port,
Second in the first heat.
and he must be quite fast through the water, otherwise he wouldn't be able to do what he just did.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's Shore and Partners. He's in towards Shark Island. Good breeze here in the left, Andrew. Look at this.
Yeah, so now it's advantage to guys on this side. A little bit better pressure now where Lazarus is, where we are to the leeward side of Lazarus on the camera boat. Smoking along in 12 knots, beautiful water.
That's Lazarus top of screen with that lighter coloured sails. That's the western side of Nielsen Park, Steel Point. The jib looks very open, even looking side on, doesn't it, Andrew, from here?
On the Lazarus,
Oh, the Lazarus here, sorry.
well, it has to be a bit. They're right at the top of the range.
Yeah.
And here's the another puff from the left here. and they'll be at full stretch here. But Finport will cross them, and Marine Outlet also.
Gee, that Shore and Partners just looks quick, doesn't it? At the moment.
Well, it was Tech 2. Remember how fast it was? Yeah. And, you know, these boys can sail. They're just a bit too light to be, you know, Max is the biggest of them, and he's no Man Mountain yet.
The boat looks quick through the water. I suppose it does if you're leading. It always looks quick.
Yeah.
But the breeze is good here. It's 12, 13, maybe 14 knots on the left-hand side of the course.
No, good stuff. And Finport clearly second now.
Where's Smeg? Smeg's gone into the island.
Yeah.
Andu's dropped back. And Andu's rolled the dice. He's going the other side of the island, Andu.
Well, that's all he's got.
He had to do that after a disastrous rounding of the weather mark the first time.
So, Pete, I'll make a stab here and say the guys that have come hard left will gain here on the port ley line.
Pretty close to the ley line, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Finport tax.
And the Marine Outlet, these boys having a good day out. Cam Gunny, Johnny Walden.
So we go down, Johnny. There
Marcus Sampson in the bow, thinking this is easy. I don't know what you blokes have been on about.
Yeah, what have you blokes complaining about?
Fantastic.
Wait till he's going to hold on this onto this spinnaker the last run down.
He's about to sail with his old man already. Look at this.
So the funding from that from his dad. Sorry, from
Close cross coming up here, Andrew. Sorry, Smeg and Finport. Is Finport across?
Yeah, he's there. He's there. And he's on. He's near the. He's not on the ley line. He's near it though.
Really good pressure in the left, but I don't think it's. They haven't got the height yet. Look at Shore and Partners. He's bowed down. Lazarus has gone to the right.
Wow, Finport's in about the right slot, isn't he? Wow, Smeg making sure he's right up on the ley line.
Well, he did well last time, Coco. He wriggled his way up to a third or second.
Yeah.
He certainly knows his stuff, Coco.
Less tax and less chance to have a problem in the last tack into the mark zone, which we saw Andu come extremely unstuck.
Well, he's a nice ley line Smeg at the moment.
Yep.
So's Finport.
Yep.
And what's that mean for Andu? Not much, does it really? These boats are lifting at the left. That's what Michael Cox is looking at.
Yeah, Bree's gone right enough, Peter, that I think. And Shore and Partner now running out of pressure. Maybe advantage Finport here.
Yeah, there's some big splits, isn't there? Lazarus has gone hard to the right,
Yeah.
not as far as Andu. Andu went to the western side of Shark Island.
What you'd say was extreme. But Finport's put 100 metres into Lazarus.
Lazarus, yes.
By just getting the gauging right in the middle of the track here.
Oh, Keegan, he's away.
So Jimmy, everything must be going through the water pretty well, eh?
Sure.
Maybe not quite high enough, but they learn how to trim the sails a bit better as they go. And
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like different, obviously new masts, new sails, learning the combinations, and what's right and what's wrong. And
those jibs of Nico's can be sheeted pretty hard before they give you trouble. Straight backs on them.
Leaders have got 100 or so metres to go. Shore and Partner's probably tacking on the ley line.
Yep.
Or he wants to be on the ley line, and then around this mark and the run to the finish. And some good little puffs coming. He's a nice lay here, Shore and Partners.
He was a bit skinny last time, wasn't he?
And there's Lazarus behind him. You just see him to the right. There's Lazarus.
So Finport just behind him, not by much.
Okay, Finport. Well, this is
Coming
gonna be a good run.
into picture now.
Where did Smeg end up out of all that? He'll be about third, I think.
Third,
Smeg.
I think, yeah.
Okay, Shore and Partners round.
Not a great tack from the
If you
Finport.
can hang in there.
Well, how good's the big spinnaker set on the Finport, Jimmy? Give him a rating out of 10.
Okay.
We're just bagging their downwind speed last run.
Yeah.
Shore and
I
Partners
was.
good.
I
Okay,
was.
here goes Keegan. Oh, and a good one.
A good bit of puff.
Okay, he's looking at the leader. Shore and Partners ahead of him.
And he's got enough cushion. Oh, Marine Outlet just had a bit of a bother. Sorry, viewers off screen.
Oh, Marine Outlet. What happened to him? Okay, Smeg around in third spot. So he's close enough, probably go for second. Okay, there's
Well, he is and he isn't, though, Pete,
Yeah,
and if the other guys do something a bit
Yeah.
strange. Lifting puff, though, the guys could be on the other jibe
Great
now.
set from the Smeg. Okay,
Oh,
here goes Lazarus.
amazing. Finport setting up, is he, Jimmy?
No,
he's
no.
Smeg
standing
looks
deep.
Look, he got out of, not on screen, but
Yeah.
just to the left of screen there, he got out of jail and got out
Yeah,
of
we
jail a
certainly
bit.
passed a few boats. Okay, Lazarus around in 5th spot. 4th spot, sorry, and then Marine Outlet 5th. Next will be Rag and Famish, who did not finish in the first heat.
Yep, found a new boom, and here they are.
Okay, well, every race counts for him.
Next round will be Andu. Pete?
Yeah, that's right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th, I think. Yeah. Gee, that's pretty smick, as you'd expect.
Well, Pete, here's the thing. It's easy to make progress in the fleet up to about 6.
Yeah. Then it becomes a lot harder.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, the race is on. The second heat of the Australian titles for the 18s. Some Bridge Sydney Harbour at the moment, the breeze, south-southeast, anything between 10 to 12 to 14 knots perhaps, and Shore and Partners halfway down the final run. Challenge coming from Finport and Smeg and Lazarus. Big split.
Sure, Partners having a jibe back. Sorry, you're not on screen, but running out of wind on the other edge. Finport hit plenty down the Nielsen Park shore.
It's still good in the background. There we go. Okay, that's in the red spinning. Bradley's heading the distance at Shore and Partners. You're a bit nervous. These boats have got really good pressure. Smeg and Finport and the Marine Outlet. That's the Marine Outlet in 5th spot. So, okay. Soon see.
Finport, pretty nice jibe.
Finport's got a jibe on the port to go across and engage with Shore and Partners, but Shore and Partners, it's a nice header on Finport and Smeg.
Wow. Bit of
This is
water,
going to be close here.
bit of water skiing from the bowman on the Finport. Phil
Finport,
Marshall.
Yeah, Finport's got the bow down. This is going to be close, very close. Shore and Partners on starboard tack rights.
Shore's across them.
Just.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no, Shore and Partners had the jibe. Yeah.
Is that the right manoeuvre?
Well, indicates they weren't crossing them.
Yeah. But they're on starboard.
Yeah, but he's just trying to capture the dirty air.
Now, advantage Finport here. Big rigs now probably coming into play somewhat.
Yep.
Crew bending their backs for these
But
big
still,
rigs.
Peter, Shore and Partners will be happy if they can get second or third.
Well, but a terrific performance by
Yep,
them.
exactly.
By all three boats. Lazarus not out of it either.
Yeah, but Shore and Partners has inadvertently assisted Finport there. Finport in front. You know, the Smeg behind the dirty air of Shore and Partners.
Well, Smeg try and jibe earlier.
Yep,
He-
here they go.
Yeah, there he goes.
He has to.
He heard me.
But
Okay.
Finport is going to
He's got
do
jibe, yeah.
the classic simultaneous jibe.
Yeah. Jibe in tandem.
So thanks for coming.
Yeah, I think it's an advantage Finport here.
Yep.
It's a long finishing line. So we're going to have another close race for the second heat.
Yeah, Finport's galloped off them there a bit.
If Finport will get there, we'd say. Don't expect we'll get him. No, Smeg won't get him. It'll be Finport.
No, Finport, easy work.
Almost a perfect day at second and the first.
Yeah, he led the other race too, Pete, didn't
Yeah. Okay, here comes. Okay, Smeg could get second here.
he? Smeg's got to get second, I think.
Yeah, okay, Finport first. Oh, Smeg flying, he won't just do it.
No.
He'll get second.
Yep.
Second, Smeg. Third, Shore and Partners.
And they're slowing down to run square. Yeah.
And Lazarus
Fourth.
fourth.
Good fourth from them.
Okay.
Good battle for fifth, sixth.
And his is the Marine Outlet and
Rag and
Rag and
Famish.
Famish. Yep.
Yeah.
Marine Outlet will probably get the 5th spot here.
That's how it looks.
So we've got Marine Outlet 5th,
Yep.
the Rag 6th, and look who's 7th. Wow,
Yeah, but it's still a 7th, Pete.
it is there, but better than 15th where he was.
It's still a bit of misery
Yeah, they won't be happy.
Yeah, by their standards, it's not a good day.
by their standards. No.
Here comes Simon Nern and Rollo, and
They've had a good day out.
yeah,
They've had a good
day.
quite a good
They'll be,
day.
8th.
Your mate, Mr. Winning, won't be particularly happy.
No,
A 5 and a 9.
the 2 Mr. Winnings.
Yeah, the 2 Mr. Winning.
Okay, so the Burrowang coming across in 8th. Yandu will be 9th, that's what we're saying. Yep.
Yeah.
Who's that? Balmain Slake.
With
That red spinnaker.
With a red-orange spinnaker.
Yeah, he's changed shoots. Okay,
Yeah.
Balmain Slake, he'll be 10th.
And that's a disappointing day from them too, I'd say,
Yeah.
by their expectations.
Birkenhead 11th. Who's this? Who's the purple shoot? Is that?
It's the purple shoot is
The
Bigfoot.
The
Bigfoot.
mighty Bigfoot. Great pictures of the Yandu there and the Balmain.
Okay, so Birkenhead will sneak in ahead of the Bigfoot. Birkenhead will be 11th. Bigfoot will be 12. And that's the racing done for the day for the leaders. They're on their way home.
Yeah.
Okay, Bigfoot finishes at 12th, so he's had a 9th and a 12th today. Where's our other Queensland mate? Is that him?
Here he comes.
They're close together, Pete.
Yeah,
They're a bit like the 2 hotels always normally together.
At all times. The rubber band is
So this is the C-Tech in 13th.
in existence.
That's the
Oh, and the
yellow shoot. Oh, he's overcooked it a bit, hasn't he? The
It's
yellow
the
shoot.
18 footers.
18 footers.
repeat,
There's 18, there's a cap
Oh,
size
it's
boat.
one of the note spots, I think. Repeat after me. In an 18-footer, the jibe angle when you're uprange is not less than, or not more than 75 degrees.
Okay, so
Please.
that's the
Please measure and adjust.
C-Tech's across. 13th. And next will be
The 18
footers
footers.
and 14th. And here comes the
Royal Oak
Royal Oak.
Hotel.
And they've had a bit of a miserable day too, haven't they?
Or DNF or DNS.
Yeah.
He's 15th. Noakes Blue and Kitchen Baker.
And that's it, folks. No more, she said.
17. So, second heat is done, as is the first heat. So we just recap on the day's adventures for the first 2 heats of the Australian Championship. The racing today was brought to you by Andu, and the day really belonged to Finport. Second and a first, Smeg a third and a second. Then we've had probably Lazarus of 2 fourths. Andu a first and a 7th. And then Yandu a 5th and a 9th. Burrowang a 6th and an 8th. Marine Outlet, they jumped ahead of those two. They were 7th and 5th for 12 points. Balmain Slake 8 and 10. Bigfoot a 9th and 12th. C-Tech a 10th and 13th. Kitchen Maker 11th and 17th. Shore and Partners, well, there's a contrasting day. A 12th and a 3rd. Terrific performance in that second race. Remembering they had a small rig on. They just couldn't hold them out that final run. 18-footer Restaurant, 13th and 14th. Birkenhead a 14th and 11th. Noakes Blue a 15th and 16th. And the Rag and Famish, well, she didn't finish the first race. She had a broken gooseneck or damaged boom. She went ashore and fixed it, came back and finished 6th in the second heat. And the Royal Oak also didn't finish in the first heat and had a 15th in the second race. So that's what we saw today. Some really good racing on this short course. 2-lapper, 2 heats, and same again tomorrow. I think, Andrew, what's your quick prognosis on the weather?
Well, it looks like regulation-ish hot water nor'easter, if there's such a thing.
Yeah.
And mid-range second sailor would be the estimate 24 hours out.
And it'll be a busy harbour, of course, tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the fleets out
Absolutely.
racing. And anyway, that's all part of the deal for the 18-footers. So I think we'll probably wrap it up now from quite a sun-drenched Sydney Harbour. The breeze fresh as it's been all day at the moment. They could get a third race in here, but the day really belonging to Finport, Keegan York and his team of Angus Williams and Phil Marshall, second and a first. But 4 more heats to go, 2 tomorrow or Saturday and 2 on Sunday. So we hope you can join us then. On behalf of the Sale Media team, we'd like to thank everyone for viewing. Hope you'll join us again tomorrow. For all our team here, Jimmy, Chits, here's Dylan and our spotter,
Sam. Sam the man.
I knew it was Sam. I was just testing you, Jimmy, to see if you knew it. So we say thanks, guys. Terrific effort again. I hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We look forward to bringing it to you tomorrow, just after 2 o'clock Sydney time. So on behalf of Jimmy Bury, Andrew Buckland, Peter Shipway, saying good afternoon from Sydney Harbour.